Damon Gann arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar and purposely hid one of the broken pieces. Question. What is this action called? Fabrication of evidence. But why would Chief Gann do that? Because, as I stated in my last episode, he's a lying scumbag who may have murdered a person. Hey guys, Zack Marsha, welcome back to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy. So, in the last episode, we tried and failed to get the chief of police convicted with murder, which he very obviously did, but we couldn't actually pin it on him because we didn't have any conclusive evidence. And also, he kind of invoked his right to not be able to refuse to testify if he didn't want to. Although, it's going to come back to bite him in the ass, as we're going to find out shortly. So, in any case, this is the final half of the trial ladder, so let's see how this actually goes. I'm assuming not well, but we'll check that out, and we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So, in any case, probably going to be the final episode of Rise from the Ashes, then we can move on to the sequel at long last. But in any case, that's just me rambling. Let's get on with it. Okay. February 25th, 2:21 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 9. Okay. Now then. Will the defendant, Miss Lena Skye, please take the stand? This is going to end poorly. Lena, please just tell the truth. Miss Lena Skye, you are the chief prosecutor. I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you. But Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know all that I've done these past 2 years. Please provide the court with your testimony, Miss Skye. And remember, you are under oath. We want to hear the truth. Of course. The truth. Lena, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister. This isn't going... She's not actually going to tell the truth, is she? Well then, your testimony, if you will. First, tell us about your relationship with Chief Gantz. Everything hinges on your testimony. You're the only chance we have to get Gant. Alright, tell the truth. Gant and the fabrication. Okie doke. I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. Are you sure about this testimony? Your Honor, I'm confessing to a capital offense. Of course I'm sure. I don't believe you. But Lena! That is not what happened. If this is true, then this means Chief Gann had nothing to do with this. That's what I've been telling you from the beginning. But you're lying. You told us in the detention center a completely different story. We know what really happened. We proved what really happened for the most part. And now you're going to be the final pit nail in the coffin, whether you like it or not. Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me. But what if she's telling the truth? She's not. I know my own sister. Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony. Thank you for the tip. Yeah, this is no time to start second-guessing myself. Alright, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. We can prove, without a shadow of a doubt, that this is actually what happened. We just need to press her a little bit. Press? Give me some information. How many years exactly? Ever since I made senior detective. Let's see, I was 24 then, so that would be 5 years. So, you're bordering 30 now. Okay. Detective Gant and Detective Skye were legendary partners. I personally saw them testify in numerous cases. She must have been good, coming from the same school as Mia. Damon Gant was a respectable detective. That's why... There's no truth to this blackmail theory. Doubtful! But think about it, Miss Skye. You didn't murder Detective Goodman. You told me as such yesterday in jail. You still don't get it, do you, Mr. Wright? As any testimony you cannot present in court is as useless as idle gossip. I stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. And? I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. Doubtful. Did you do so to help your sister? Joe Dark was a serial killer. My sister almost became his last victim that day. I didn't want that incident to ruin her life. But what she did was justifiable self-defense. She wouldn't be charged with anything. That's not the point. She was traumatized that day, all because of that creep. That's why I couldn't forgive him. Lena. So that's why you fabricated the evidence 2 years ago. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. Are you sure? You say you did this all by yourself? Yes. Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene? It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. The broken prosecutor's award knife was stuck in the victim's body. What? That contradicts what we just heard. The prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident. That's only a situation you dreamed was possible. The reality is it wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life. Fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change the statement. You mean... Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Dark? Something like that. If that is so, what happened to the other murder weapon? Dark was carrying a switchblade knife. Oh, that was lying on the floor a little distance away. It was probably knocked away in the struggle. That's not how it went down. She's trying to cover up her lies with more lies. All just to protect me. So when you found out the scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to. Yes. Huh. I broke out the tip of Dark's knife, planted it inside the wound, and then moved the body. You planted the tip of Dark's knife in the victim's wound? And then you moved the body? But why? Why would you do that? You of all people should know, Edgeworth. You've always had a good head on your shoulders. I suspect foul play. My head isn't that bad, but maybe I ought to ask for the sake of others. Why did you plant the knife? But why did you do that? Come now, Mr. Wright. Even you should be able to figure it out. Well, let's add this to the witness's testimony. The reason Miss Sky fabricated the knife. Alright. Alright, let's keep pressing. Alright. Alright, let's get the other side of it. Why did you move the body? When you showed us on the scene, where exactly was the victim's body? It was where you deduced it was, by Chief Gant's desk. But the body was found by your desk. Why did you move it there? The reason for that is simple. Let's have the witness explain this in more detail. The reason Miss Guy moved the body. Oh. The reason the jar shat. Oh. We're slowly expanding her story a little bit. Let's press this a little bit. Pieces of the jar. You mean... Yes. That wretched jar you showed us earlier. In order to show that Dark committed the crime, I felt it would be more expedient to move the body. So... When you first found the body, the jar was already... Of course, it had been shattered to pieces. If you looked at the crime scenes, it would be clear right away what happened. Neil Marshall was dead, and Dark was lying unconscious. In other words, the jar must have been broken during their struggle. I see. What's the matter, Emma? Apparently, the jar shattered at the time the crime was committed. But I have a feeling there's more to it than that. There must be a contradiction here somewhere. Anyway, I committed this fabrication completely alone. Well... Well, the jar was... Hey, look here. It's hard to make out, but there's a dark red stain here. Looks like blood. This piece the chief has is different, though. The blood stains on the other piece are just spots. But this one's a line. That's odd. Well... Well, we know it spells out Emma. Which is confusing. Which is perplexing, because if it wasn't... Press? So you rearranged the crime scene. Are you sure you didn't do this to keep Emma from looking like the murderer? How many times do I have to tell you, Mr. Wright? Emma didn't do it. Period. Are you so desperate to hide that fact? You're willing to risk the death sentence? She's lying. She did so I wouldn't be blamed for what happened. In any case, as a prosecutor, what I've done is unpardonable. There's nothing I can do to make up for my actions. Mr. Wright, my sister's lying. Looks like she's determined to protect you in the end. She insists she fabricated the evidence by herself. There's no way she could have done it alone. I've got to get Lena to talk more. If she's lying, then she's bound to slip up and make a contradiction. Well, it couldn't have been broken if Emma's name was written on it. Why is Emma's name written on it if it's... If I'm wrong, this is going to come back and bite me, but I don't think I am. Because the jar has Emma's name written on it, which only works if the jar is intact. So, it couldn't have shattered. Let's see if this works. It does. Miss Guy, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister. You mean the forgery at the scene where Neil Marshall was murdered? If that truth was to be exposed now, the past 2 years of your life will have been in vain. Even so, I am compelled to bring to everyone's attention a significant contradiction within your testimony. A contradiction? In my testimony? You testified, and I quote, "The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan." That's right. Do you have a problem with that? It's a simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written on this jar with the victim's blood. Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in his final moments. Exactly so. And this is where the contradiction lies. In order for the victim to be able to write his message on the jar, it must not have yet been broken before he died. Ah. He couldn't have written Emma's name on a shattered jar. He makes a valid point. Order! Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed in regard to this jar and its bloody message. We may be missing something critical here. Something critical? Chief Prosecutor, it seems you're just in the dark as we are. About the truth toward which we're headed. What? Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth. Very well, the witness may now continue her testimony. Ooh. Jar and message in blood. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar, but it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. You mean you were the one who wiped away the message in blood? I wasn't chief prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Dark was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence. Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. Okay, this is going to be interesting. Jar and message and blood. Alright. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar. Push. So the jar was already broken. It's a miracle that thing had broken earlier. It certainly looks as feeble as the defense's case. But not as feeble as the judge's judgment. Thanks. Thanks, Judge. Love you too. You're an ace detective who never missed a detail. Do you really expect us to believe you didn't investigate what was written on the jar pieces? Normally I would have. But it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. So you didn't know your sister's name was written on the jar? No. If I had known, I would have gathered all the pieces and ground them to dust. Well, that helps my case. No, it doesn't, but I'm with you in spirit. Lena, you'd do that for me? It seems you two might make up yet. Anyway, I just barely had enough time to move the body as it was. If someone happened upon the scene, you'd lose your chance to erase the evidence. You must have been in a hurry. I was. I knew I had to destroy the evidence before anyone came. Okay, so this is rather shocking. To be safe, I wiped away all the blood. Okay. I'm afraid this action of yours reveals what really happened. What do you mean? If you really thought Dark killed Prosecutor Marshall, you wouldn't have wiped away the blood. What else could I have done in that situation? Lena, I only had a few moments. There wasn't enough time for me to do anything else but gather up the pieces. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. But how could you see with the power out? It should have been pitch black in that office. A detective is always prepared, Mr. Wright. Even though I always carry a pocket light and a camera with me. Even I carry a bottle of emergency luminol wherever I go. I never miss anything. I got every last piece. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. So you illegally rearranged the crime scene. Yes, I don't have any excuse for my actions. I'm so sorry, Lena. I didn't know. I've treated you so badly all this time. It's not too late. There's still plenty of time to make up. After we've gotten to the bottom of this incident. No doubt this day will leave a permanent stain on the history of the prosecutor's office. More contradictions have surfaced in your testimony. Your sister's really putting up a fight. She must really care about you. Still, she's not doing this the right way. I think I finally figured out the contradiction in her testimony. There's one final possibility that might turn everything around. Well, again, the jar. Again, the jar has a big thing on it. She missed an entire piece. She missed an entire piece here. Well, she did evidently miss one, since there's a big thing found in Chief Kent's office. Do I present this and hope something happens? This is the only evidence I've got, so... Okay, there it is. It is it. Miss Guy, I believe this jar conceals the truth even you were unaware of. What? We found the final piece of this jar in Chief Gant's safe. In the Chief's safe? But how? I knew it. She really didn't know. There's something even more disturbing about that final piece. There was still blood on it. But the witness just testified that she gathered every last piece and wiped the blood off of them. Apparently not. Yes, which leaves us with only one explanation. On the night Prosecutor Marshall was murdered, you were not the first one to show up on the scene. Chief Gant got there before you. That's a good point. But couldn't the defendant have simply missed a piece? I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective. That may well be. Everyone makes mistakes. Even I once wasted an entire day looking for my dentures. They were in my mouth all along. Ha! Can you believe that? Objection. That's irrelevant. Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When this witness arrived on the scene, the jar was already broken. Oh, that! There's no way a name could have been written on a shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness. I hope you're not implying this person was Chief Gant. At the time, he was looking for Dark downstairs. Besides, even if he was there first, why would he break the jar? The question is, if he did arrive there first, why didn't he hide that fact for 2 years? That's a good point. Well, Your Honor, can you answer for that? No! I think we got him? Wait, I'm not the one on trial here. Damon Gant arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar and purposely hid one of the broken pieces. Question. What is this action called? Fabrication of evidence. But why would Chief Gant do that? Because, as I stated in my last episode, he's a lying scumbag who may have murdered a person. In light of what happened afterward, isn't it clear? What happened afterwards? Discovering the scene, Lena Skye believed her sister Emma killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Lending to her aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Dark, sparing Emma. And therein lies the reason. The reason why Miss Skye became the Chief's puppet. No, I did it on my own. Your face tells a different story. And also, you bit your thumb so hard you started bleeding. I don't know if you're okay or not, but I'm concerned. Please, sis, stop trying to protect the Chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake. No, you didn't. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. Don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. Defense attorneys make up the most foul lies to defend their clients. Foul lies? Imagine that, coming from my own client. I guess you do seem the type who likes to twist the truth. Oh, come on. Why is everybody turning on me? Wait a minute. What if we're still smack dab in the middle of Gant's trap? Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Lena, maybe right after all. What do you mean, Wright? So you do tell follower lies then, Mr. Wright? Miss Skye, please testify once more. But if evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie. But I do remember knocking over Mr. Marshall. Miss Skye, if you will. I can't. Can't or won't. There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there is a possibility that it will, if you tell the truth. Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw. Hey, there we go! Alright, the witness may testify once more, for the final time. Now we've actually pinned it all on Gant. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on that suit of armor sword. Emma and Dark were lying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw what had happened, I thought she did it. That's why I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Gant help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. But it all really was a fabrication. Emma might be innocent. Unbelievable. The body was impaled on the armor sword. You were the only one who saw that. If only you had proof. Actually, I do have proof. I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning. What? To me? It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it. I thought it might be needed. But I don't remember receiving a picture like that. Leia must have known. See, Mr. Wright? She really does have faith in you. Okay. Very well, Mr. Wright. Please present this picture. If I don't remember receiving any pictures from Lena. Lena said she gave it to you this morning, right? I seem to remember getting something from her then. Let's check out the evidence again. There must be a picture in there somewhere. Wait. The only thing I remember receiving from her this morning was the rules of evidence law. There it is! Hey, there's a picture here. Oh my. This is the actual crime scene. No other detective saw the crime scene like this. Because I contacted Criminal Affairs only after I had arranged everything. Oh, crime scene from the case taken 2 years ago. Mr. Wright, that piece come out from his vest. Could that be the cloth we found inside Chief Gant's safe? What's this? This is a handprint, isn't it? Well, that cloth, it had fingerprints on it. Whoever fingerprints those are must be the real murderer. What? But those fingerprints, they're yours, Emma. Why are your lips turning all purple, Mr. Wright? Anyway, let's get on with the cross-examination. So long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flush out the real murderer. Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. Actual crime scene. Okay. We're nearing the end of this, finally. Oh, boy. I'm doing a pretty good job so far. When I arrived, we found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on a suit of armor. What? Chief Gantz! Come now, Udgy. This is the poorest excuse for a trial I've ever seen. God damn it. Chief Gant. What? Now you want to make me out as the bad guy too? If so, I'd like to put in a word or two in my defense. I'm afraid it's too late for that. What? You already declined to testify. That means you forfeited your right to make statements of any sort. Ha! Gotcha! This must be that risk we were talking about earlier. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around your own neck. Yeah. Yeah! Ah, so what? You think I'm worried? You should be. Sorry to disappoint you. But I don't need to make any statements. What do you mean? The evidence will do all the talking for me. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence. Yes, that's true. Wait, you mean you still have some conclusive evidence? No, I don't. But someone does. Someone? So, what's your excuse, Righto? Why have you been keeping quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right? Something that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall, causing his death? Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt? Is it true, Mr. Wright? I was hoping I wouldn't have to use it. If I show that piece of evidence now, Emma's sure to be made out as a murderer. Mr. Wright, if you do have any more evidence, please present it now. And if you try to conceal anything, you will be the one appearing before the Board of Inquiries. What do I do now? I'd better think of this through carefully. I can't afford to make the wrong decision. Should I present that piece of evidence? The one that shows who really killed Prosecutor Marshall. Should I? There's probably something. Let's see. Check. This is a handprint, right? Yeah. Someone left behind an oil stain on the fabric. Whoever it was, they must have had really oily hands. Mr. Wright, think about this scientifically. Huh? A more likely explanation is the person slipped and fell on a freshly waxed floor, getting wax all over their hand. Well, that would account for this amount of oil, I guess. I don't see what's so scientific about it, though. It happens, you know. I always slip on the floors in school after they're waxed. I'm in trouble, though. If I present this... Yeah, there's just a big hole cut out of his shirt. But, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay. Now I get it now. If the evidence was, in fact, responsible for Emma... If Emma was, in fact, responsible and she was, in fact, the one that killed him, why is there no blood on the piece of cloth that was taken? This would have had to been removed. This would have to have been removed before he died. Before he got impaled. So, I think I am safe to show the evidence, I think. Yes, Your Honor. I do have further evidence. Alright, the time's finally come to show it to them. Those prints have got to be the Chief's. Actually, they're not. Now then, let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who actually murdered Mr. Marshall. Actually, I'm confident that this is going to actually do the opposite of what Mr. Gann is actually thinking. I'm hoping. I'm just along for the ride at this point, and this is the only thing I haven't presented yet, so... It's a piece of leather cloth. Yes, it most likely was cut from the victim's vest near his chest. What's this? There's a big handprint on it. Surely it must have been left on the cloth by whoever shoved the victim into the sword. What? Whose fingerprints are on this? I'm sure Wright has checked. Haven't you? Well, whose are they? They're Miss Emma Sky's. What? They're mine? So I really did do it. See, I told you it was conclusive. No, it is not. But this was found in your safe. That means it's possible you forged it. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember any cloth in my safe. Do you really expect me to believe that? But... give it up, Mr. Wright. It's over. It's not over yet! You shouldn't have presented that. By presenting that evidence. You tied Emma Sky to Neil Marshall's death. No. I did not. It appears we have our killer. No. No, no! Everything hinged on that point. In the end, Lena, you've got what you deserve. Oh, I wasn't supposed to Fuck! Well... guess I'm not supposed to guess I wasn't supposed to present it. Alright, well fine, now I know that. Alright, back to where I was! Yay! I'm back? I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. Well, I'm not entirely sure what I'm supposed to do. If I present the wrong evidence, then Emma goes to jail and I have to do this all over again. It's immediate game over. If I say cannot show evidence, I'm gonna be in trouble. I'm stuck here. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. If I show the wrong piece of evidence. Cannot show evidence will no doubt get me in trouble, because if I conceal evidence, it's gonna cause problems. I have no choice. If I show this... No, I can't. I can't show them that yet. Why not? You know which item to show. Mr. Wright, if you're not sure, then think it through again. How can you use the evidence to your advantage? What do I do now? Okay. Don't present the evidence yet. That's the clue. Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. What? You lie! Chief Gantz! You opened my safe. I know you took what was inside. The conclusive evidence. I don't know what you're talking about. Mr. Wright, why didn't you show them? We found it together. Oh, I see. It's because you know the trusts, don't you? You know whose fingerprints are on it. That's why you won't present it. What are you talking about, Chief Gantz? Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. See the victim's vest? Notice anything odd about the chest area? It looks like part of it's been cut out for some reason. You mean you had this in your own safe? What? That means you, the chief of police, have been concealing evidence. Ha! He dug himself a hole! This is going to be the biggest scandal in the history of the police department. He just kind of dug himself a hole and I didn't even present the evidence. Impressive. To be honest, I didn't think you had the gall, Righto. Well, I can't just let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened. What? You mean you admit to it? Okay, we've got him. I was the first person to arrive at this crime scene that day. It then occurred to me that I could use this situation to control Lena. So you really were manipulating her. Well, he's admitted to everything but the murder charges, so I think we've got him. Because he's being cocky. I knew Lena. If I made it look like the blame lay with her sister, then when she saw the scene, she would ask for my aid. But... So you assisted this guy. But he kind of got stuck in his own trap there. I pinned him. I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife tip in the victim's body and move the body across the room. And I ended up using that evidence to get Joe Dark convicted. When I tampered with the crime scene, I hid 2 pieces of evidence. This was before Lena arrived at the scene, mind you. 2 pieces of evidence? You mean those items in your safe? But why? For insurance! Of course. Insurance? I was sure my plan would work, but it's always best to be prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for a murder that girl committed. You mean you were calculating that far ahead while forging the evidence? What do you take me for, a fool? I didn't make police chief by dumb luck. See this jar fragment? I hid the most legible part of Emma's name. I didn't expect Lena to go and wipe the blood off all the pieces. But if you fabricated all the evidence, what's to say you didn't fabricate the message on the jar too? Ho, ho, ho. Some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I kept one more item for insurance. You mean that piece of cloth. Come on, Wright. Cough it up already. I know you have it. What are you waiting for, Mr. Wright? So, you admitted to it then, Chief Gant, that you were hiding the cloth you cut off the victim's vest in your safe. Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do that, being chief and all. But it's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say for yourself? Just a moment ago, you said you didn't have any evidence you could present. Foolish move, Wright. You should have shown it to me before it was too late. It's been a long battle. But the moment of truth has finally arrived. As long as I don't mess up here, victory is mine. Okay, but he's pretty much screwed at this point. I'm assuming if I present it, he's going to be very pissed, and he's going to make a mistake. Well, if I do present it, it's going to cost me. I need to be careful. Let's try cannot show evidence and see what happens. No, it's too late to show the evidence now. Besides, even if I did, it just exposed that poor girl's fingerprints. Right. Think hard over the circumstances. The circumstances. I'm talking about then and now. There's one major difference between the two. Weren't you waiting for that difference? So, Edward figured out my plan. Oh. Mr. Wright, this is your only chance. Your Honor, I do have evidence to present now. Alright, then let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall. This is the only other piece of evidence I've got, so let's hope this works. Mr. Edgeworth? Your opinion, please? I think Mr. Wright's humor has improved, at the expense of his defense. Better polish up your defense, Mr. Wright. Come on, Mr. Wright. You remember that thing with the murderer's handprint on it, don't you? There's no way around it, Mr. Wright. Now, let's try this one more time. Your Honor? Okay, apparently I have no choice. I'm hoping I don't screw this up. I'm going to look it up again. I have no idea again. Because I know that if I present the wrong piece of evidence, I'm going to screw it up. So I'm going to look it up, make sure I do this right. Because the only thing I have is this. If I present this, this is going to cause a problem. So that's why I'm worried. So I'm going to look it up, make sure that if I am supposed to present this. I don't know. I don't know, but it's weird that there's no blood on it. That's my point. I'm just gonna look it up, try and figure it out. Okay, so I was sort of half right. I am supposed to present it, but I'm also right in that there's a contradiction on it. So I just need to find the contradiction. which is simple enough. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest? Oh, yes. At last you finally brought it out onto the open. There's a handprint on this piece of cloth. Your Honor, the prosecutors request that be immediately sent to the lab for analysis. This handprint on the leather. There must have always been a strong impact for it to be left so clearly. You mean... It could not have been forged. It must be authentic, conclusive evidence. Ho ho ho. You're as slow on the uptake as ever, Worthy. What? Think about it. Wright had all this time to present this evidence. Yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that be? You mean you already know? You know whose fingerprints are on that. But Mr. Wright, do you really know? Yes, I know. Whoever the fingerprint must belong to the real murderer. Whose fingerprints are they? Very well. I'll tell you. It should be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted. The person to whom these fingerprints belong to is... We already know who it is, but we need to make sure that we actually get this right. Present? Emma? Emma Skye? What? They're mine? I'm sorry, Emma. But why? Why didn't you tell me? Oh ho ho ho! You're really something, Righto. You knew that girl did it all along, and you still tried to pin the murder on me. So it's true. Tragic, but true. This girl really did shove Prosecutor Marshall to his death. How could you? You monster! Miss Skye, you knew whose fingerprints those were all along, yet you acted like she really didn't. Miss Skye, it's not over yet. What? I said this trial isn't over yet. Ha! But I'm afraid it is over, boy. Now, not only this trial, but your career, too. You purposely concealed this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense. I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Aren't you going to tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer? Before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up. Oh? And what's that? Who really killed Prosecutor Near Marshall? What? Chief Gant, you are absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Near Marshall, you ask? It was Emma Skye, wasn't it? I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction. What? A contradiction? What is this fool babbling about? I'm talking about a contradiction. One that proves who the real killer is. Okay, we got it. Let's see how this goes. But Mr. Wright, this piece of cloth, what could it possibly contradict? Chief Gant, your tyrannical reign ends here. Behold, the piece of evidence that contradicts the cloth. Now we present the picture, right? And what exactly is this supposed to be? This is the picture Miss Skye took. Take a good look at it. See where the piece of his vest was cut out? Yes. His shirt is showing underneath. It's hard to make out with all the blood on his vest, though. Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood. That's only natural. His lungs, no doubt, were punctured. Blood poured out of his mouth. Oh, but that piece of cloth. It has no blood on it. It's clean as a whistle. Haha, wait. There's no blood on it. Ah! Since Emma Skye's fingerprints are on this cloth, there's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on the sword at that time. No, this is nonsense. Now then, Chief Gant, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside. He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out. If so, then tell me, who could it have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Miss Skye, picked up the unconscious prosecutor, and impaled him on the armored sword. Ugh. Then, to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood. A jar that they broke on purpose to leave behind a clue. And make it look like Lena believed her sister did it. Oh! And she got pinned. It's finally all over. Alright, we took him down. We took the bastard down. Objection? Heh. Heh heh heh. Oh, that was close, Wright. You almost had me. Yeah, but you're sweating. Sorry, but you'll have to do better than that. I refute your allegations. What do you mean you refute his allegations? You see, that piece of cloth is illegal evidence. While you regain your composure quickly. Order. Order. What nonsense is this? Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. Remember, Udgy? Earlier, old Wright out here concealed that piece of cloth. So then, what's your excuse, Wright-o? You do have some conclusive evidence, don't you? Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. Not at this point in time, though. Well, that's true. The defense did refuse to present evidence. At that moment, that piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence. But that's not fair. Ho, 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 ho. Did you actually think you could best me in court? It looks like the last laugh's on you, son. I'm afraid Mr. Gant's claim is legally correct. While Mr. Edgeworth? True, illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a person. Assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal. Well, Mr. Wright? It seems, at last, the time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived. Mr. Wright, do you admit to it? That you purposely and illegally concealed this piece of cloth? I did not. I admit, I refused to present it at one point. Aha! So the evidence is illegal. No, it isn't, Mr. Gant. Huh? It's not that I didn't present evidence then. It's that I couldn't. What do you mean you couldn't? There are certain procedures involved when presenting evidence. No, Udgy, don't listen to his lies. He's nothing but a coward. You can't really believe. Shh, let the man finish. There's only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. It's this evidence, legal or not. Very well, let's settle this once and for all. Earlier, you refused to present evidence. If you cannot prove your conduct was not in violation of the law, then do so now. Alright. No evidence shall be shown without approval of the police department. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. Present the evidence law book. This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law. What's this? I've done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth, nothing more. What? You see, it's written right here in this book. The second rule of evidence law. Rule 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. I found this piece of evidence myself, inside your safe. It goes without saying, I did not have approval from the police department. Rule 2, unregistered evidence must be presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And here's my crux of the matter. You see, at the time it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the cloth and the SL9 incident. What? What kind of nonsense is this? You want relevancy? Just take one look at this picture and... Sorry, but can you recall, when was that picture presented? That was shown only a few moments ago. No. He's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless. The person who gave it value as evidence was you, Damon Gant. We've got a point there. You yourself confessed to a certain truth. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest? Yeah, we've got him now. Oh, yes. And now it's relevant. No! He made it relevant. Haha. It was then that you approved this cloth. That's conclusive evidence. Yes, you, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth. The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer. And there's only one person who could be. Damon Gantz. The killer was you. Alright. He seems to have lost his mind. I knew I should have gotten rid of him. That good-for-nothing scum. For 2 years he's been snooping around the department trying to get something on me. Crimes are being committed every day, yet he insisted on hounding me. Well, your crime wasn't exactly petty. He wanted to reinvestigate the case. He recruited Angel Starr, then convinced Bruce Goodman. Detective Goodman? Yeah, that's right. If the evidence is transferred, I'll lose my only chance to find out the truth. Please, you gotta help me. Okay, I got him. Goodman turned him down, as he ought to. Still, Jake Marshall didn't know when to quit. He stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence. Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a lost item report. I went with him to the evidence room. Then, all of a sudden, he decided to speak out. What are you talking about, Goodman? Can you please reopen the investigation, Chief? We can't transfer the evidence out. There's still too many questions left unanswered. Hey, opened his evidence locker, and as he was talking about taking the evidence out, he said, "It's not too late. I'm going to hand all of this over to Marshall." Well, to be honest, I was a bit taken aback by his words. I had a bad feeling when he came to see me, but I never thought he'd bring up SL9. That's when I saw it. The accursed knife. I couldn't just pull it out. Doing so would have only led to more blood, making it near impossible to hide your crime. Even so, the blood was just pouring out. I didn't know who might stumble in, so I hurried out to wipe it up. I was worrying so much about the floor, I didn't realize my fatal mistake. The bloody handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker. I used to be known as the crime computer. But everyone has to start somewhere, I guess. I was too nervous. I had no business doing any of it. Then you put the body in the car? I'm sorry, I couldn't think of any other way to move the body. I broke your trunk, but what's the big deal? You make a lot more than us detectives ever will. Gah. So, he basically just confessed to both crimes! This is turning out great! Leaving the prosecution's car aside, how? How could you get Miss Sky involved in all this? Well, she had as much to lose as I did if the truth came out. So you took evidence from Detective Goodman's locker. I felt bad for having to do it. I almost didn't have the time to pick and choose what to take. So, you left the jar fragments and the glove. Yeah. It looks like I was better off being an investigator of crimes than a committer. Well, in any case, you're going to jail now. They all did their best to get in my way. I've got to hand it to them. They do their jobs well, much to my dismay. Fake evidence doesn't hold very well upon close examination. You must have known that. Tell me, Worley, why do you stand in court? Me? You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me. We're the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone. Well, in any case, the chief of police has been is now been convicted of murder, or you think. Well, looks like it's time to say goodbye. Oh, Udgy. What? Looks like we'll have to cancel that lunch date. Sorry, old friend. I'm sorry too, Damon Gant. I knew you as you used to be long ago. You were once a fine investigator, an example to others on the force. I'm sorry to learn that you're no longer that person. Those days are long gone now, Udgy. Thanks for all the memories, though. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Now you have Wright here. And Worthy. With these two around, you can't go wrong. In fact, I can hear them already. The melodious sounds of a new beginning. Okay, well, that's everything. We finally pinned it. We finally did it. There are two things I want you to understand. Yes? First, your sister never hurt anyone. Second, Damon Gant betrayed you from the beginning. You see, Miss Sky, you no longer have any reason to keep silent. You're right. When this trial is over, I'll tell everything. All that I've done these past 2 years. From the time I had Gant help me forge evidence up until today. So, it seems all the questions raised in this trial have been answered. I'm sorry, Miss Sky. I couldn't get you out of all your trouble. My, what high standards you have for a rookie. I can see why Mia thought so highly of you. Who knows? A few years from now, you just might take it to the top. She's smiling! Yay! I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. Miss Sky. And you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. Believe me, I know how much of an ordeal it's been for you. Yeah, trying to overturn an open and shut case of murder wasn't exactly the easiest thing to do. But we did it! We managed to prove that she didn't do it. Although, she is... She may still be guilty of something. I don't know. I don't know what she's guilty of, but definitely something. Ugh. It was nothing. Oh, Edgewood's embarrassed. Liar. I was worried the pressure might break you. And yet, you rose above it all and guided Mr. Wright to victory. You've done well, Mr. Edgeworth. Stop it! I only did my job. In light of this case, it seems a good self-examining is in order for all of us. Miss Sky. Yes, Your Honor? You are innocent of murder. However, although the chief blackmailed you, the fact is you still acted as his accomplice. A trial will be scheduled for these crimes at a later date. Yes, I understand, Your Honor. Is there something amusing about all this? Why are you smiling? It's been a long time, Your Honor. A long time since I felt free of these heavy chains. Alright. Well, in any case, she's been found not guilty now. All he has to do is say the word. Well, this trial has gone on for far too long already. I'll say it's been like, I don't know, 12 iterations of this. Please end it. Please finally end it so I can go play something else. Preferably the second game, because I still have that to play. And the game after that. Oh, this is a never-ending game, isn't it? This is never going to end. Regarding the charge of murder, the court finds the defendant, Miss Lena Sky. Thank God. Yay! We finally beat this goddamn chapter. That is all. This court is adjourned. Thank you! Thank you, Udgy! Thank you! February 25th, 5:03 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. Oh, that took a long time, but I did it. At long last, it's finally over. Emma! Why the long face? I'm sorry your sister didn't get completely off the hook, but at least she wasn't convicted for a murder she didn't commit. No, that's not it. Just now, after the trial ended. I can see why Mia Fey thought so highly of you. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. And you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. You've done well. Oh. Emma's jealous. You know, I did my best too. But Lena didn't say a single word to me. Oh, but not interrupting anything, pals. You're always interrupting, Gumshoe. Leave. We're having a heart-to-heart with Emma. Come on, man. Be able to read the atmosphere a little bit. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Making a detective run all around while on duty? And to top it all off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. Hey, lighten up, pals. I'm only kidding. Oh? Are you here because of my sister again? Nope. Not this time. I came today because of you, pal. Me? That's right. I thought you'd like to see someone. Lena! Lena! Should you be doing this? She's still under arrest, you know. Well, I won't tell if you won't. Emma, I owe you an apology. It's okay, sis. Don't worry about it. That day, 2 years ago. Was the first time in my life I ever panicked. It was all I could do to keep myself from screaming. All I could think about was keeping you from getting wrapped up in that mess. Sis, I asked Gan to help me cover up the truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake. But now, I realize I was wrong. I changed after that day. I had to. It was the only way I could make it through the past 2 years. Well, we beat it. Well, we beat him, so you don't have to worry anymore. I knew how much I was hurting you by distancing myself. But I couldn't bring myself to tell you about what I did. I was scared. Scared that you'd look at me with those eyes of yours. I was scared of how you'd react if you knew. But sis, you were only doing it for me. No. Huh? I turned my back on you that day. In hiding what I believed to be the truth, I was deceiving you. Sis. I'm such a fool. It took me all this time to realize it. Emma, I'm so sorry. But sis, you don't have to apologize. I'm happy now. You're happy? Of course. You know, sis, I always knew that one day you'd come back. And now you have. Oh, Emma. Emma. Aww. No one can change the past. Okay, that has to be the thumbnail. That has to be the thumbnail. The only thing we can do is strive to make up for our mistakes. Why must we make up for our mistakes, you ask? Because in so doing, we can find a way to bring back to our rightful path. It is from there that we can move on toward a brighter future. That has to be the thumbnail. I'm sorry, that has to be. At least that's what I felt watching the two sisters make up. Mr. Wright, Mr. Gumshoe, but me. Thank you both for all that you've done. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Isn't that right, Edgeworth? Edgeworth? Stop hiding and come over here. He is not happy. Where was he hiding? I just came to say congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Right. Well, I'll be going now. Bye! Mr. Edgeworth, I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened. We were the ones who acted corruptly, not you. Yeah, you shouldn't beat yourself up with that. It's too late for me. What's happening? No, or what anyone might say. I realized today that I can't correct my mistakes. Mr. Edgeworth. Not only that, but I don't even trust myself anymore. Chief Gant was right. You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try and go it alone. I do despise criminals. I plan to dedicate my entire life to fighting them. But in order to fight crime on my own, I need a weapon. It's scary, but I've known that to be true for quite some time now. But Edgeworth... Who knows? Given enough time, I might have tried to pull something like Chief Gant did. That thought terrifies me. That's why I can't continue on as a prosecutor. Edgeworth. Don't you understand? Damon Gant and your mentor, Manfred von Karma. Oh, that's right. I forgot that guy. He killed him. He killed the man and blamed Edgeworth for it. I can understand. So yeah, they're kind of two of the same cloth, but not Edgeworth. Edgeworth's been trying to make up for that mistake ever since. We're both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime, but they both made the same mistake. You said, in order to fight crime on my own, I need a weapon. That may be true, but think back to the trial. You weren't alone. You were working together with Mr. Wright, and because of that partnership, you were able to present evidence that otherwise would have gone undiscovered. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright? Yes, it is. Huh? What? Oh, yeah. What is this, a pop quiz? Come on, Mr. Wright. Show him what Lane's talking about. Evidence, huh? Something that neither Edgeworth nor I would have been able to find on our own. I'm pretty sure it's the screwdriver. That might mean something to you. But I don't see how it had anything to do with our partnership. Huh? Mr. Wright, it seems you still have a lot to learn as well. I screwed this up as well again? I'm not good with these. I guess that wasn't the right piece of evidence. It's time for me to go. Mr. Edgeworth, if you'll excuse me, there are still some loose ends that need wrapping up. Take care, Chief Prosecutor. Bye, Edgeworth. Edgeworth, what will you do now? Well, whatever you do, just remember, you can let what happened kill the prosecutor in you, or you can let it help you grow. In the end, it's up to you. I know. It seems I owe you my thanks too, right? But what I face now is my problem. Edgeworth, I'll be waiting for you in court. Farewell. Bye. For real this time, I think. I better be going too. Okay, but I'll be by to visit soon. It seems we both have a lot to learn and catching up to do. Here, this is a little something for you. Scientific investigation! Yeah! It's the first book I ever bought. Study it well. Thanks, sis. I will. And that's the end of it, right? And so, another case came to a close. As for the sisters, I have faith. Faith that their lives have only just begun. Yep. And as for me, I think it's time I started on a new journey of my own. A journey to rediscover myself. Well, don't go tricking off just yet, pal. Huh? What is it, Detective? There's just a little matter to be resolved about the Chief Prosecutor. You see, she isn't supposed to be out of jail like this. But I thought you said it was okay. Yeah, well, it may be okay with me, but the folks at the prison are a different story. Huh? Basically, I had to bribe a guard in order to sneak her out for 30 minutes. Believe me, it wasn't cheap either. Huh? Way to go, Detective. Didn't know you had a wild side. Well, is he going to ask me to foot the bill? Yeah, well, haha, you see. Mr. Right here is the one who will be footing the bill. God damn it, I called it! God damn it! God damn it, Gumshoe! You should have told me this before! God damn it! What, do you think I can afford my salary? You gotta be kidding me, pal. Huh? Huh? Thank you, Mr. Wright. You're the best. Okay, fine. Fine, I'll foot the damn bill. Why is it? I suddenly feel like I want to scream. Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we all go pay it off together? Yeah, that's a great idea. Come on, guys. Let's go. Oh. Oh, now here's the credits. Okay, well, that ended. Well, alright, I arranged for a friend of mine in Europe to take care of Emma. I hope she'll be pleased to study under a top coroner. As for me, this affair has pretty much ended my days as at the prosecutor's office. Still, I managed to find my way back to the field somehow. Then, I'll be able to investigate crimes together with Emma. Okay. Alright, well, that's the end of Rise from the Ashes. We still got the credits to go. Alright, let's hope they don't take too long. Okay, but that was a long ordeal. I did it, but it took me a while. Yeah, because I thought I was a goner for a moment there. In the end, though, they overlooked my unauthorized investigation of the chief's office. Yeah, because he's no longer the chief. If we penalized you anymore, it'd be worse than firing you. Yeah, that's what they said. It just goes to show. You can't shake me off that easily. Alright, okay. Well, in any case, that was a long-ass chapter. It took a long time to actually beat it, but beat it I did. I just hope that the credits actually finish rolling soon enough. Oh, that took a long time. There's Meekins. My new mission is to guard the main entrance and take care of Billy. Can you believe it? I've been demoted to a security guard. My partner's keeping an eye on the entrance for me today. I'll show them, though. Someday I'm going to be big detective. Yes, sir! Then I can be just like that Dick Gumshoe. That's not a good idea. Okay, but in any case, yeah, that chapter was interesting. It was kind of a hard chapter to beat because there was so much story that needed to be pointed out. That was a bit convoluted, but I finally beat it. Finally beat the game. I finally beat the game and beat the final chapter. There's the Blue Badger. Alright. It seems that we're just gonna go around and talk to everybody. And then that's gonna be it. Oh, that took a lot longer than I was hoping it was going to. But I think I finally beat it. Oh, he fell over. He's dead now. Great. The Blue Badger finally died! Hallelujah! We can rest easy knowing that the creepy Lywood man is no longer around. Okay, but in any case, yeah, that story was convoluted. So, two cases were connected. We had to fight our way back from an open-shut murder case. And also, he's stuck in prison because he admitted to sneak to breaking and entering. Okay, well, Cowboy, looks like you did it. You even gave Baby back her smile. Can you make sure Billy and the gang get their water? Who's Billy? Oh. Billy, the cactus, isn't it? Looks like we won't be seeing each other for a while. As a farewell gift, I put a new meal on the menu. The right way of lunch. The top layer tastes as bitter as defeat, but the bottom layer is as sweet as victory. Kids seem to dig the turnabout theme. It's a hot seller around exam time. Just make sure not to eat it backwards. Huh. Okay. Well, that's interesting. But in any case, yeah. That was probably one of the most convoluted storylines I've ever had to do in this game. That took a long-ass time to actually beat, but beat it I did, and now I'm happy. I can actually go and do whatever it is I want to do now. I'll never forget what the young defense lawyer said after the trial. Let's see, what was his name again? Mr. Left? Anyway, he said he's been doing her something or other for, how many years? Well, anyway, I've got another trial to get to, so I better be... Huh? Oh, I forgot my gavel. Sorry, gotta go. He actually left. There's actually a chair behind him. I've never seen that. Alright, translation. Brian Global Studios. That took a long-ass time to actually beat, though. I really don't know what else I can say. It just was a very long chapter, and evidently it was the longest chapter in the game in the series to date, so I'm not surprised. But I beat it, and I'm proud of myself. Ah! Nothing soothes the soil like fresh country air. Still, sometimes I do miss hearing you and your objection. Still, I can't go back until I'm a full-fledged spirit medium. Mystic Maya, afternoon training's about to begin. Coming! Well, see you around, Nick. Alright. So we got one last scene from Maya. Yay! Maya's in the story again, I'm assuming. She'll be in the sequel, I'm sure. I'm sure she'll come back for the sequel. Although it's nice to know that Phoenix actually does go in and check up on her from time to time. That's sweet. That's sweet. Then again, she is the kid's sister of his former boss who died in a murder case. So, it makes sense that he would check up on her. Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth. I brought you your tea. What's going on? Oh. Producer, my name Matsukawa. I think I remember this. I remember Edgeworth got his own spin-off series, and I think this is what kickstarted him leaving. Thanks for coming to see me off. I can't believe I'm going to Europe. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Thank you so much for everything. You're welcome. I'm a little sad, but I'll be alright. Whenever I want to see Lena, all I have to do is open this book. Alright. Oh, I'm actually doing a thing. Is it the same thing again? Ah. There's a picture of the sisters in it. Oh, that's cute. Ah. Look at Emma. She was so young then. Ah. Okay, well that's the ending of it. Achievement unlocked. Rise from the ashes. Clear episode 5 of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Oh, I finally did it. I finally got the achievement unlocked for that. Oh, that feels good. Alright. Well, in any case, we've beaten it. We've beaten everything. We've beaten all 5 chapters of this game. It took a long time to get here, and this one was the big crux of the problem. But now we have done it. We have finally beaten the original Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. All right, now it's time to move on. Now we can move on to the sequel next week. All right, this is gonna be fun. All right. Well, in any case, that took a long time to do, but I did it. I finally beat it. I finally beat the bastard. All right, but in any case. Yeah, that's probably the hardest thing we'll ever have to do in this game ever. Just beating Rise from the Ashes for the first time through. Because it is a long-ass chapter. It is. It is the longest chapter. It's the longest chapter in the series to date. It is massive. But I beat it, and it's a growing experience. But in any case, yeah. That was a great chapter. That was a great way to end it off. That was originally supposed to be for the 3DS to show being able to rotate evidence and all that. And then they adapted it. For this game. It doesn't quite hold the same meaning since there's no gyroscope or anything inside the Xbox. At least not that I know of, because I'm pretty sure it's not the best idea to be picking up a console and spinning it around until something happens. But in any case, though, I beat it. We're going to be moving on to Justice for All next time, and then Trials for Tribulations after we beat that. So, with that, we are a third away through the trilogy. Next time we're going to be continuing the trilogy. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also be sure to follow me on Facebook and on Twitter in the description below. And also, check out my Patreon in the description below as well if you want to help support the show. It's only a couple bucks a month. It really helps me out, and you guys get access to a bunch of cool perks that I'm my way saying thanks, so be sure to check those out in the description below as well. But in any case, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!